Wagwa FPL, I yes right there, you know. It's the wrap up week 20. You don't know, I yes right there, you know. First wrap up, Aston Villa versus Forest. I predict this game right to be a 3-1. So let's talk about the result. And look at that, 3-1 it was. Look, right in the money, I got that one right here. Let's talk about the Forest players we should consider for a squad. For Forest, you got GW20 right there. Their next game is against West Ham. West Ham coming off of a big, heavy loss right there to Wolves right there. So maybe it's time to start putting some Forest players in their side. But you know, after they go against West Ham, they got Arsenal next. But Forest do got some players that perform, and they got GW20 right there. He's a 5-star general, not in form, but his price is 7.3. So if we're looking for a midfielder, maybe GW20's the one that we need to put in our squad. We also got a midfielder right there from Forest again. It's called Baka, not in form, his price is 5.9. He was able to get a 4-pointer in that game right there. And those are the players we should consider if we're looking for some Forest players to put in our squad. Maybe we need to look at GW20 or Baka. So let's talk about Aston Villa's players. For Aston Villa now, we got a forward right there, Watkins. He's an 8-star general. He's in form, his price is 8.6. He was able to get a 7-pointer in that game right there. We also got McGinn. He's got a 4-star general. He scored 2 goals in that game. His price right there is 5.4. Not in form, his form is in the 4. But he was able to pick up a 15-point. Their next game is against Crystal Palace, who lost to Newcastle right there 2-0. So maybe we need to start putting some Aston Villa players in their team. Because Aston Villa also got Tillman right there. Tillman is a 4-star general. His price is 5.9. He's not in form. His form is 4.3. But right there, he was able to get a 7-point. But we also got Rogers right there. Rogers is a midfielder. He's an 8-star general right there. His price is 7.6. His form is 6.5. He was able to get a 5-point in that game. And we also got Cash right there. Cash is a 5-star general. He's a defender. His price is 4.8. He was able to get a 5-pointer in that game right there. So if we're looking for some players, like I said, Crystal Palace is going to go against Aston Villa. And Aston Villa is coming off of a big win, and Crystal Palace is coming off of a big loss. So maybe it's time to put some Aston Villa players in their team. We got players like Watkins, Tillman, Rogers, Cash, and McGinn. So look at the side right there. If you need like a midfielder or a forward or a defender, maybe Aston Villa is where you need to go to get some players in your squad. So let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up. We have Brighton versus Burnley 2-1. That was my prediction. Let's get into the result. And the result was 2-0. Close. I'll give Burnley a chance to get a goal, but they didn't get a goal. But I still picked Brighton to win this game right there. And the winning was 2-0. My prediction was 2-1. So let's talk about the players. For Brighton now, we got a forward on the list right there. Not in form, but his price is 4.8. He was able to get an assist. We also got a midfielder on the list. He's a 3-star general. He was able to get a 12-pointer in that game. Getting up there in form, his price is 4.8. And we also got Jorina right there as a 6-star general. He's getting back up there because he's a 6-star general. When he get his chance, and he performed for Brighton right there. Not in form, his price is 5.6. And he was able to get an 8-pointer in that game right there. So if we're looking for some players right there, Brighton is going against Manchester City, so it might not a good time to get Brighton players in your squad because Manchester City's coming off of a draw against Chelsea that I know that's like a loss to them right there, because that's a big win for Arsenal, my side right there. But I'm not sure if it's the right time to get some Brighton players in your squad. But if you wanted to get some midfielder or forward right there, maybe you could look some Brighton players to put in your squad. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up, Wolves versus West Ham. My prediction was West Ham was going to take this game right here, 2-1. Let's get into the result. The result was shocking. Very shocking right there. Wow. Wolves was able to take this game right here, 3-0. This right here is a big, big loss right here to West Ham. Wolves was able to take it 3-0. So let's talk about the players that we should put in our squad. For Wolves right there, we got Bueno. I had him performing from the last game that he was the one that we should look to put in our squad right there. He was able to get an 11-pointer in this game right there, assist right there. He's a 2-star general. We also got Yi Chang right there, who's also a 2-star general, a midfielder right there. He was also able to get an 11-pointer in that game. We got a forward on the list right there, Maine. He was also able to get an 11-pointer in that game right there. He got a goal and an assist. His price is 4.5. And we also got a midfielder right there. His price is 4.9. He was able to get a 9-pointer in that game right there. So you could see that Wolves got some players. Their next game is against Everton, and Everton is coming off a big loss, a 2-0 loss right there to Newcastle. So maybe it's time to, I know you don't want to take that chance, but like I said, we need some differential in our squad, man. Maybe Wolves could bring that differential that we need. Their next game is against Everton, and Everton is coming off of a loss. We also got Saw right there, goalkeeper, that's been playing very well. Look like ever since he came back, he's been performing, coming off right there, giving them clean sheets. So you know Wolves got a goalkeeper now that's performing for them. The boy always been good for them. He was able to get a 6-pointer in that game right there. His price is 4.2. Like I said, we have a transfer, a wild card that we can use, and we could rebuild our side, putting some differential in our squad. And you never know, like I said, Wolves got some players right there. Maybe they found they turn around. Maybe they found what they're looking for. And like, this is the new year, bring new things for them. You know what I mean? So we could look for Wolves for some players. Because Wolves, like I said, they got a defender right there on the list. They got a midfielder, a forward, and not a midfielder, and they got a goalkeeper right there. So maybe it's time to start putting some Wolves players in their team. So let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up, Bournemouth versus Arsenal. My prediction was Arsenal was going to take this game 3-1. Let's see the actual result. Actual result was Arsenal took this game right here 3-2. Very happy about that. Like I said, this is my squad right here. And with Manchester City getting the draw right here, it's like Arsenal win like 5 times right here. So I'm very happy, very proud of my squad, because I've been talking about Arsenal, man. And I say, your Arsenal need to step it up. This 1-0 win that they've been doing, or these close games, they need to start scoring some more goals, showing that they can perform. And Arsenal did that. Win this game right here 3-2. So let's talk about the players we should consider for a squad. For Bournemouth now, if we have a forward, looking for a forward like Evan Nilsson right there. Evan Nilsson is a 6-star general. He's not in form, but his price is 7.0. He was able to get a 7-pointer on that game right there. We also got Cooper Jr. Cooper Jr. is a 5-star general. His price is 4.6. So this is 2 forward I'm talking about right there. If you want looking for a forward to put in your squad, maybe it's Evan Nilsson, maybe it's Cooper Jr. Their next game is against Tottenham. Tottenham is the side that's up and down. So maybe Bournemouth is this. So where you need to go to put some players in your squad. You could get a forward right there, or you could get a midfielder right there, Cook. Cook is not in form, but his price is 4.6. So let's talk about the players from Arsenal now. For Arsenal, like I say, this is my side right here. Very proud about that. Got that win right there, 3-2 against Bournemouth right there. For Arsenal now, you got Gabriel. He's a defender. He's a 5-star general. You could see that back-to-back. Against Aston Villa, you got a 15-pointer. Against Bournemouth that he just played, you get a 9-pointer right there. His price is 6.6. He getting up there in form. So maybe Gabriel is what we need to put in our squad. Their next game is against Liverpool. Liverpool is another side like Tottenham, up and down. So they don't know what they're doing. So maybe it's time to start putting some Arsenal players in their squad. Because Arsenal got a lot of players to choose from. They got a defender right there. They got a midfielder right there. Declan Rice. Declan Rice is a general, man. You could see with all that star that he performed. He performed for Arsenal every time he gets some chance. You also got Odegaard right there. Odegaard is a 4-star general. Getting up there in form. His price is 7.8. In Aston Villa game that he played, he get a 5-pointer. In the Bournemouth game, he got a 7-pointer right there. We also got Saka. Saka is up there as a general, man. Every time he get his chance, he perform for Arsenal. Look at that. Aston Villa, he got a 6-pointer. In Bournemouth game, he got a 4-pointer. His price is 10.3. And you also got Martinelli right there. Martinelli, not sure if it's someone you want to put in your squad, because we got other midfielders to choose from, like Saka, Odegaard, or Declan Rice. But Martinelli was able to perform. He's a 2-star general. His price is 5.2. And those are the players for Arsenal that should consider for a squad. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up. Leeds versus Manchester United. My prediction was Manchester United was going to lose this game right here 2-1 to Leeds. Let's get into the actual result. You can see I got Zerkzee right there was going to perform. So let's see if he did perform. And the actual result was Leeds versus Manchester United 1-1 draw. And look at that. Zerkzee did perform. Zerkzee right there, his price is 5.8. He was able to get a 4-pointer in that game right there against Leeds. Last game against Wolves, he got an 8-pointer. So Zerkzee performing. He's a 3-star general, not in form. But we also got Cunha right there. Cunha right there is a 5-star general. He's a midfielder. He's not a forward. My bad in that, but his price is 8.2. He was able to get a 9-pointer in that game right there. And look at that. Leeds got a midfielder right there. Harrison right there. Boy's a general, man. Every time he get his chance, Every time he gets a chance to lead, he perform. Against Liverpool, he got a 3-pointer. Against Manchester United, he got a 7-pointer. So the boy been performing. And they also got a forward on the list right there that's performing. If it's not Cabot Linson, it's another forward. Got a 2 8-pointer right there. So they've been performing right there. So those are the players. If we're looking for some players from Leeds or from Manchester United, these are the players we should consider for a squad. Let's get into the next wrap. Next wrap up. Everton versus Brentford. My prediction, this game earlier was going to be a draw 1-1. Let's get into the actual result. And the actual result was Brentford was able to win this game right here 4-2. Very big win right there for Brentford. So let's talk about the players we should consider for a squad. For Everton now, we have players like Grealish right there. Grealish, a 5-star general. Looked like he's finding his feet back. He was able to get 2 assists in that game right there. His price is 6.5. He was able to get a 10-pointer. Next game is against Wolf. Like I said, Wolf is coming off of a big win. A big one. So maybe they finding their feet for the new year. The team is finding it for the new year. So maybe you could take some chance and put some Everton players in your league, or put some Wolf players, because Wolf does got some players you could put in your squad. And we also got Barry right here. Barry right there is a forward. He's a 3-star general. His price is 5.7. He was able to get a 6-pointer in that game right there. You also got Beto right there. Beto right there is a midfielder right there. He was a 2-star general right there. His price is 5.0. He was able to get a 5-pointer in that game right here. So if you're looking for some players from Everton, maybe these are the players to consider. Like I said, their next game is against Wolf. Let's talk about those Brentford players. For Brentford now, we got a midfielder on the list right there. The midfielder, his price is 4.9. He's in form. He was able to get a whopping 11-pointer in that game. He got 2 assists right there. We also got Shade. Shade's been performing, man. He got an hat-trick one time. I know he got an assist right there. He's a 7-star general. He was able to get a 6-pointer in that game right there. His price is 7.1. So Shade is a midfielder right there we could consider for a squad. Now look at that. We got Thiago. Thiago is a general, man. He's up there. He's up there. The boy been performing, man. See, every time you get a chance for Brentford, he performs. He's a general striker, man. Getting up there in form, his price is 6.9. A whopping 17-pointer right there. Hattrick right there. We also got a midfielder right there. Collins, a new midfielder on the left. He was able to get a goal and an assist. He was able to get a 10-pointer in that game right there. So he's been performing. So you could see that right there, Brentford got some players you could consider for your squad. We got midfielders, we got a striker, and we got a defender right there. Their next game is against Sunderland right there. That's a tough game right there, because Sunderland's playing very well. We're going to talk about them. But those are the players right there for Brentford we should consider for a squad. We got midfielders, strikers, and a defender on the list. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up, Fulham versus Liverpool. My prediction, Liverpool was going to take this game right here, 2-1. So let's talk about the actual result. And the game was Fulham versus Liverpool, 2-2. Very disappointing for Liverpool right here. I thought Liverpool was going to win. This is a very big loss for them right here. This 1 point is a loss for them. So we're going to talk about the players which could consider for our squad. For Fulham, though, we got Rahul. Rahul's the general forward right there. Boy right there is an 8-star general. Getting up there in form. His price is 6.2. He was able to get a 5-point in that game right there. You also got a midfielder on the list right there, Kevin. He was able to get a 4-point in that game right there. His price is 5.8. But look at this midfielder right here, Wilson. Wilson is a general, man. He's up there, he's in form. So you know he's getting some play time for them. His price is 5.8 right there. He was able to get a 6-point. And you got another midfielder on the list right there, Reed. Not in form. Price is 4.3, but he was able to get an 8-pointer in that game right there. Their next game is against Chelsea. Chelsea's about to get a new manager. They got an interim manager. They're able to get them a draw against Manchester City. So you could take that chance and put some Fulham players in your team, because Fulham's playing well. They got a forward right there and a midfielder that's been performing for Fulham. So maybe those are the players that we should consider for a squad. Let's talk about the Liverpool players. For Liverpool, now we got Frimpong. Frimpong is getting back on that jump right there. You could see that he's a 4-star general. He was able to get a 4-point in that game right there. His price right there is 5.7. We also got Bradley right there. Bradley's a 2-star general. His price is 5.7. He was able to get an 8-pointer in that game right there. We got Vert. Like I said, Vert's been finding it, man. Vert's is 2-star general. He was able to get a 10-point in that game right there. His price is 8.2. And we got Guapo. Guapo is a general, 6-star general right there. Price is 7.3. He was able to get a 6-pointer right there. The next game is against Arsenal. You know Arsenal is my squad. I'm not sure it's the best time to get some Liverpool players in your squad, because they're going against the big top Arsenal right there. Arsenal need to keep winning, because they put in Manchester City in their rearview mirror, and they need to keep that up. So the next game for Liverpool's against Arsenal. Not sure if you want to take that chance, but like I said, Arsenal got some players you want to put in your squad, and Liverpool got some players that you want to put in your squad. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up, Newcastle versus Crystal Palace. My prediction was Newcastle was going to take this game right here, 3-1. Let's get into the actual result. And the actual result was Newcastle took this game right here 2-0. Very proud of Newcastle, man, because they finally showed that they could keep a clean black line. So let's talk about the players we should consider for a squad. For Newcastle now, we got Bruno. Bruno's a general, man, a midfielder that's been performing. He's in form, so you know they believe in him right there. He was able to get a 10-pointer. 10-pointer in the game against Burnley and a 10-pointer in the game against Crystal Palace. So Bruno's one that we should consider for a squad right there. We got a defender on the list right there. What? His price is 5.0. He's getting up there in form. A whopping 17-pointer right there. Maybe he's a defender we should consider for a squad. And we also got a midfielder on the list right there that we should consider. His price is 4.5. He was able to get a 7-pointer in that game right there. So like I said, their next game is against Leeds. Leeds, draw. Maybe it's time to put some Newcastle players in their squad, man. We could go ahead and put Bruno right there. Bruno's a general. They believe in him. He's in form. He was able to get a 10-pointer back-to-back. So maybe Bruno's the one that we should look to. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up. We have Spurs versus Sunderland right there. Game right here, my prediction, I thought Sunderland was going to take this game right here 2-1. Let's get into the actual result. And this game right here was a draw game. Spurs versus Sunderland was a 1-1 draw game. Let's talk about the players we should consider for a squad. For Spurs right there, we have a defender on the list right there, Daves. Right, he was 4.3 is his price right there. He was able to get a 9-pointer. And we got Van der Den. Van der Den's a 3-star general. He's a defender. Another defender right there for Spurs. So maybe Spurs got some defenders we should consider for a squad. Their next game is against Bournemouth. You know Bournemouth is coming off struggling right there, coming off a win. But their next game is against Bournemouth. But like I said, maybe it's time to look for some Spurs players to put in our squad. We got Van der Den right there, a 3-star general. He was able to get a 7-pointer. Now let's talk about those Sunderland players. Sunderland right there, we got Barbary right there. Barbary is a 4-star general. He's a forward right there. He was able to get a 9-pointer. And we also got another midfielder on the list right there, Lefebvre. Right, he's a 5-star general. He was able to get a 5-pointer. Their next game is against Brentford. And you know Brentford's coming off a big win right there, a 4-2 win against Everton right there. So maybe we could take a chance because these are a forward and a midfielder right there up top. So it's not really going to hurt us if they get goal conceded against them right there. So we could take that chance right there and put some Sunderland players in your squad. But those are the players that we should consider for a squad right there. So let's get into the next wrap-up. Last wrap-up of the game right there. Manchester City versus Chelsea. For week 20, this is the last wrap-up. My prediction, this right there was going to be a 3-1. Let's get into the actual result. And the actual result against Manchester City versus Chelsea was 1-1, a draw right there. Like I said, man, when I talk about the Arsenal right there, this is a big win for Arsenal right there. Very proud of this right here because I'm like, yes, but I digress. But let's get right here. I mean, Manchester City versus Chelsea, 1-1. If we're looking for some midfielder right there, we got Reinders. Reinders is finding it, man. In the beginning of the season, he started off, but towards the end of the season, he's finding it again. And I mean, he's been slappy, but no, he's finding it again. He's a 6-star general. He was able to get a 10-pointer. His price is 5.2. He's getting up there in form, so you know they believe in him. Now they got Enzo right there. Enzo right there is a 6-star general, man, scoring that goal in the last minute. Wow, he got a 9-pointer and 11-pointer right there. So he's doing well. He's up there in form. He's getting up there. His price is 6.4. The next game for Chelsea is against Fulham. Fulham is a good squad, but Chelsea do got Enzo right there that's performing. The next game for Manchester City is Brighton. And Brighton right there, you know that Manchester City, whenever they lost, they're going to want to win. And that's the end of the wrap-up right there. Yeah, and this was Wagwan FPL. You don't know. Yes, there, you know. Thank you all for watching, man. This was the week 20. This was the wrap-up. A lot of players that we should consider for a squad. You don't know, week 21 is coming around right there. I got that matchup coming up soon, so you don't know. Look out for that. But you don't know, I just said there, man. It's week 20 the wrap-up. Yeah.